All right. Welcome to the Go Get 'em podcast. We're back up and running episode number 2, reaction to opening day. After all of that, we finally get the game, and it was pretty much right. I mean, that's as perfect an opening day as you could have. The stress levels were extremely low. It was awesome. But here we are on the Go Get 'em podcast, Chris McMonigle, reacting to Yankee opening day, a 7-0 win over the San Francisco Giants. And yeah, we'll get to the broadcast too, because obviously so much talking about the Netflix and everything about that. But we'll get to the game first here. As I mean, Max Fried was incredible, right? The actual game, not a lot to it. It was a ho hum classic, nice and easy. Like the first inning had a little bit of issue to it. But outside of that, right, in the first inning, Max Fried, who ends up going 6 1/3, 2 hits, gives up no runs, walks one batter and Ks 4, and just got into a groove after the first inning. I mean, he has a 4 pitch walk to a rise, and then he gets what could have been a double play ball from Chapman. Devers gets a single on that pop up. Grisham struck out in the first. I know we're going to talk a lot about Grisham. Grisham strikes out in the first and lets that ball drop in the bottom of the first on the Devers blue pit. But that's the one at bat of the game. If you are looking at this game, there is one at bat, and I'm trying to wait for the live tweet to be sent out. So there we go. Hold on. We're just going to repost that so we can watch it live. If you're just joining us, reaction to opening day, reaction to a 7-0 Yankee victory. But we were talking about Max Fried and how stress-free it was and how locked in he was after that first at bat to arise. And that's really the entire Giant offense comes down to that one at bat, Willie Adames in the first inning. Runners at first and third. The Yankees had gone 1, 2, 3 in the first. We'll get to Judge and his 4 strikeouts, the Golden Sombrero. But the Yankees go 1, 2, 3 in the first against Logan Webb. And right out the gate, Max Fried has a 4-pitch walk to a rise. He gets, like I said, Chapman to get a ground ball. That could have been a double play, but they didn't. It looked like the early on, the Sun was playing, even on the infield. It looked like Caballero was slow to get that baseball on the ground ball. Just the sun was really tough at that angle that time of day in San Francisco, the shadows and everything. It was a low sun, and they were having trouble with it. But that Adames at bat, that's it. Like, he gets Adames to strike out there. He blows a high fastball past him. He gets Lee to ground out the second base to end the inning, and that was it. Max Fried, coming off what last year was just an incredible year for him, 19 wins, sub-3 ERA, everything they needed him to be. And heading into this season, right, we're talking about the pitching staff because we feel confident the offense is going to score runs, and they did today, and we'll get to the bottom of the order. But we feel pretty good about the offense. They led the American League, and they led all of baseball last year in runs scored. What you're looking at this year, right, is the bullpen, which we saw some guys come in to this game. We'll get to it. But early on, while you're waiting for Odon to come back, while you're waiting for Cole to come back, while you're even waiting for Clark Schmidt to come back, what you needed is to get this rotation anchored by Max Fried. It's going to be very important for him, at least early on, while you're waiting for the rest of the rotation to come back, for Max Fried to be good. And in this game, it's shaky in the first at bat. And then from that moment on, because even the Rafael Devers hit I think I saw on Twitter that it's a 95% catch rate. Like, that ball has to be caught. Grisham just didn't get a good read on it. The sun was brutal at that point in the game, and he just didn't get a read on a pop-up. But from that moment on, it's that Willie Adames at bat. That's it. From that moment on, he is practically unhittable. He gives up only another hit the rest of his outing. 6 1/3. He was accurate. His fastball was ticking up around 95 or so. He was in the top of the zone. His curveball, he was having trouble locating. If you notice, the curveballs were going outside to right-handed batters, inside to left-handed batters. He was having trouble dotting that outside corner, especially against righties with the curveball. And he had the one inning in the sixth, his last full inning, He has the inning in the 6th where he gets hit hard 3 consecutive times. He gets the line ball to Jazz that kind of goes off his glove, and then he makes the nice barehanded catch, a line ball, and then line outs to Judge for both Devers and Adames. Then he gets Lita to fly out in the 7th, and they bring in Hedrick. But Max Fried was brilliant in this game. He was absolutely brilliant. He is going to be so important for them this entire season and anchoring that staff, especially early on while you're waiting for the guys to return. And he came in and outside of that one at bat was great. Just, nails. And then the bullpen comes in and does their job. The first time we see Bird, who again, Bird's going to be interesting. And I was a little surprised he made the team. I thought he was a lock for sure. If you remember, they traded for him at the deadline last year. He was one of the 3 relievers that they traded for at the deadline last year. But he was just in an absolute funk after having a really good first half to his season in Colorado, was just in an absolute funk. And the Yankees almost immediately, they pitched him like twice. He was awful. And they immediately sent him down to AAA and they worked at him. And, a lot of thought that they were going to work on this offseason. And I thought for sure he was a lock to make the roster. And then he had a kind of a miserable spring, but he did make the roster. We saw him come in and you saw what he's got. He throws the fastball and he has a pretty wicked slider. Now if he like any breaking pitch, any slider, if he hangs it, he can get hit. And if he can't locate the fastball, he's going to have some problems. But we saw Bird come in and get the final 2 outs of the 7th. Hedrick and Doval. Doval even pitches around that error from Caballero late in the game on a ball that came up on him a little bit. But the pitching staff, they shut down the Giants completely. 3 hits, right? They only have 2 walks between Fried and Hedrick had 1. So 3 hits and 2 walks. They had 5 base runners and one hit batter. They had 6 base runners in the entire game. The Yankees and Max Fried completely shut out the San Francisco Giants offensively, just completely shut them down. And then offensively, this was, because honestly, this was the whole thing. This was as good as you could possibly have it. That for all the waiting, for all the nonsense, for everything we've been going through today with Craig and everything, all the anticipation for this game. This was as good an opening day as you could possibly have. Now it's one game, no one's going to make too much of it, but you talk about the pitching, which we just did, and then the offense. And let me just say this, because I know Judge is going to be a story. Just shut up, honestly. If you're one of the many people who hit me up on Twitter and say, "Oh, Judge is in playoff form," yeah. The Yankees scored 7 runs, right? Let's as we think about the failings of this offense and what concerns us about this offense, and that's what's really stands out to me in this game. Max Fried was great, yes, but we expect Max Fried to be good. What stands out to me in this game is all of our fears about the offense is that it's too home run reliant, too Aaron Judge reliant, and the bottom of the order isn't very good and can't put the ball in play in big spots and strikes out too much. And we got the exact opposite. The Yankees scored 7 runs against one of the best pitchers in baseball. Judge went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, and they didn't hit a home run. That is as good a calming. Now, look, you want to hit home runs, and of course, Judge is going to be much better. But the fear is, or the concern is that you can't have games like this. And again, I know the Giants aren't that great, and so that when we talk Max Fried, okay, shut down a lineup that doesn't have a lot of firepower, has some guys at the top, but doesn't have a lot of firepower, okay. But Logan Webb is a legitimate starting pitcher. Logan Webb is one of the best pitchers in the game. And so for the bottom of the order in the 2nd inning to do what they did there and I score the games just like Evan. I've been doing it for a long time. For the bottom of the order to do what it did in that 2nd inning, and it starts with a single from Stanton. And let's just be I know he had 1 strikeout. Stanton has looked really good since he's come back from injury last year. He was on, he had 275. Now, he didn't do anything in the postseason, which is fair, obviously. But, he came out and just killed it last year. And today, he looked great. He was on everything. He hit the ball over 114 miles an hour. He's in the game. He's got the 2 singles, the RBI single. He scored from second base on that single from that double from Caballero. I think it was ruled a double. Who knows with the broadcast? And we'll get to the broadcast. I have no idea if that was a single or a double. They never told us, never said a damn word about it, among other things. That was just an atrocious broadcast. I want to talk about the game first, then we'll get to the broadcast. But Stanton gets 2 singles, laces 2 balls, and then scores from second base on that hit. Now, again, anybody else scores on that easy, and we're not even mentioning that he scored from it. But Stanton scores from second base on that. I'll take it. I wasn't sure he was going to get sent. When the ball is hit, even though the left fielder was going towards the line and backhands it, where anyone else in baseball scores, I'm saying to myself, oh, it's Stanton on second base. He's going to only get to third. And he ends up coming around and scoring. The Giants, who threw the ball away on a couple of occasions, they were sloppy with the baseball. But they make and Caballero gets hit with it to keep it there. Otherwise, you get more runs there. But Stanton starts it off with that single. Jazz gets hit by a pitch on the first at bat of the season for him, and then Caballero gets probably the biggest hit of the game because it breaks it. It starts the scoring. You could probably argue McMahon's next hit is probably the biggest to make it 3, and certainly with the way Fried was going, 3 was probably going to be enough. At least clearly it was. But Caballero comes through, and just offensively, right? He does have the error. I'm not hung up on it late in the game, but Caballero looks good. And that's going to be a major talking point throughout this early part of the season if Caballero is going to be the everyday shortstop, because I still think the Yankees prefer him as a utility guy and bounce him around all over the place. But hopefully he could push off Volpe and play really well. But that was a big hit to get the base hit, the double. And then the McMahon at bat, I misspoke. That's the biggest hit of the game. He's got 2 strikes against him. He's changed, a lot about McMahon, and I've talked about this a lot. I think he is a huge piece of the season. I just saw Judge did the interview with Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant asked him about guys he's hoping to break through, and 2 of the guys he said were McMahon and Wells. I think it was Jazz, McMahon, and Wells. And Wells obviously had a great game, on base 3 out of 4 times with 2 singles. But McMahon comes through in that spot. He's changed his stance. He's gotten a little bit. They said he was a little bit too wide with his legs. So he's kind of shortened up his legs, tightened up his legs, tightened up the stance, trying to put the ball in play, trying to go the other way. And with 2 strikes against Logan Webb, he comes through with that seeing eye single through the middle. That's what you need from him. That is exactly what you are looking for from McMahon. He's going to hit at Yankee Stadium probably 20 home runs or so, right? And he's going to play brilliant third base, although I don't think was there even – I don't know if he saw a single – he did not. With Max Fried on the mound, he did not have a single play put his way at third base. But particularly against Max Fried, that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for him to have great defense, and if he can just, when he comes up with runners in scoring position, if he comes up with runners on, just put the ball in play and stop striking out so much. If he could just hit 250 and come through in moments like that and just put the ball in play, even if it's moving runners over sometimes and not even driving them in, that would be huge for the New York Yankees. So first test of the year for McMahon, first success of the year for McMahon. And then Wells coming off a really good World Baseball Classic where he was the best catcher in the World Baseball Classic, voted the best catcher in the tournament, played well for the Dominican. He comes through with a base hit, that bottom of the order. And again, this is what, if you're looking at the New York Yankees and you need Max Fried to be the anchor of the staff, certainly until probably throughout the whole year, because let's be honest, we're all excited about Cole. I'm excited about Cole. I don't know what he's going to be when he comes back. I think eventually you're going to talk about about Cole hopefully being himself, but when? Right now, you're looking for Cole to be Cole in the postseason. I don't give a damn what Cole does in the regular season. For the most part, I don't need him to be ace level. I don't need him to be all-star level. I just need him to pitch, get healthy, build up, trend towards himself by the end of the year, and then be part of a rotation that can throw Max Fried, Garrett Cole, hopefully Cam Schlittler eventually becomes what we hope he can become and what he was at times last year. That's what you're looking for Cole. So you're going to need Max Fried to be the guy every 5th day that is extremely confident and extremely steady. And so you get that from him. You questions about the bullpen. They pitch fine, but again, not a great lineup, and it's already 7-0. So I'm not making too much of the bullpen, but they all come through. And then you want that bottom of the order to prove they can do damage. and you get that inning against Logan Webb where they break the game open and put up a 5 spot. Grisham too. Grisham's another one, right? After that first inning, we're all thinking, you're thinking, you know what you're saying. I can't wait for the Go Get 'Em podcast, maybe, hopefully, right? Why not? It's fun. I can't wait for the Go Get 'Em podcast so I can tell McMonigle that he's stupid, Grisham sucks, and Dominguez needs to be up because he strikes out in the first. Although he did it, I think he made him throw 6 pitches. So it was a decent at bat as a leadoff hitter, but he strikes out. And then he lets a ball drop that has no business dropping because he loses it in the lights, in the sun or whatever. And then he comes through with that triple. And then he laced the ball in the 6th as well. So you're looking at Grisham early on to make sure he's going to solidify himself as the everyday center fielder. He comes through with the big hit to break the game open and make it 5 with the triple. He hits the ball hard later in the game on a line drive, an absolute bullet to right. So you feel good about him offensively. Stanton taking measured swings, hitting singles, runners in scoring position, looking as healthy on the base paths as you could possibly ask from him, scoring from second base on a base hit. Jazz looked good defensively, comes through with a base hit, steals a base. Caballero comes through with a double. McMahon comes through with a walk, and now he does strike out twice in this game, so he's half of his bats are strikeouts. But you can strike out 3 times in a game if you come through with the single that knocks in 2 runs. Like that's baseball. So he comes through with the big at bat, and then Wells had a good game. So really, all of your concerns, and then even Rice, I saw someone commented on it. I'm sorry, I saw the comment, but then they go away. Let me see if I can click on something. We're doing this all together. We're learning together. There you go. From Mark M. Ben Rice was picking it. Yeah, he had 2 on the first play of the game, the double play that Chapman beat out, the should be double play or would be double play that Chapman beats out. He picks it. And then there was a play later in the game at the very end after the Caballero error. Caballero coming in on the ball, makes another scoop. So like all of the concerns about the team, and again, it's game 1 and they're still legitimate concerns, but game 1 checked a lot of the boxes that we're looking for. It checked a lot of the boxes. Ben Rice's defense, bottom of the order contact, rotation, stability at the top with Rice. With Fried. The only thing that didn't happen was Judge went 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Now, please stop. Don't do this. Don't be that person. You don't want to be that person. There's absolutely no reason why anyone should have any concerns about Aaron Judge, please. Because if you're going to say it's about a pressure situation, you can't argue. Like, this isn't a pressure situation. You know what I found funny? Who are the 2 worst players in this game? The 2 worst players in this game are Judge and Webb. And what do they have in common? Both in the World Baseball Classic. Both for Team USA, both played throughout the whole tournament, both played into the finals. Like, maybe there is a little bit of a letdown, right? We talked about this, the mentality of that tournament, the atmosphere, everything about it. And then you start the season, even though it's opening day and even though everything Netflix and all that nonsense, which you're going to get to in here in a second, like maybe there's a natural come down. But whatever it is, it's one game. And I'm sure Logan Webb will be fine. And I'm pretty damn sure Judge is fine. Look, yeah, playoff form for Judge. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? I mean, come on. But ultimately, that was it. The game was really ho-hum. There was no – they put up those 5 runs and Fried's going. Like, it was a very relaxed, comfortable, enjoy the game, try your best to enjoy the game. And I don't get hung up with broadcasts. I guess we'll get to it. If you guys want to comment, ask me any questions on the actual game. But really, Fried dominated. We saw a couple of different relievers in Bird, Hedrick, and Duvall. And again, Duvall is going to be a huge piece. I'm almost glad – that Caballero makes the error just to give a little bit of pressure to Duvall to have to overcome that error. Now it's 7-0. I'm not saying it's a ton of pressure, but just something. One thing went bad, and he would have to overcome it, and he did. Because the bullpen's going to be very, very important. Because let's be honest, we don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. I know I've been saying the bottom, outside of the top 3. Who's going to make big outs, because I'm concerned about. I don't know anybody else. Like, I don't have like we saw a little bit of Hedrick. Okay. I know Hill, Blackburn, and Yarbrough. I have no idea what they're going to be. I mean, they're starters who might be coming out of the bullpen. And I guess I have some faith in them because they're professional Major League Baseball players. And Yarbrough was pretty good last year. But I mean, you've got Cade Winquist, you got Jake Bird. Like, I don't know who's going to get those out. So when I talk about how I'm really nervous about the back end of the bullpen, or at least the front end, however you want to put it, the back end usually means 7, 8, 9, but the bottom half of the bullpen, because at least I know what Doval, Bednar, and Cruz are. Right? It doesn't mean I have immense faith in them. It doesn't mean I'm confident they're going to be great, but I know who they are. I know what their stuff is. I saw them get big outs. Like, we're going to need them to be good, and I don't trust necessarily them to be good. I'm not just giving blind faith that they're going to be really good, but at least they're guys we know. Like, who else is going to be able to step up and get outs? So I know when I talk about the bullpen, I tend to just say Bednar, Cruz, and Doval, who else? I'm concerned about everybody else. I'm concerned about the entire bullpen. Doval is a huge part of this team. He has got to be good. He has got to be a big piece. Same thing with Cruz, who, when he throws strikes and he can get ahead and then throw that devastating split finger, he's really good. And Bednar has shown he's tough as nails. He even showed it in the World Baseball Classic, but he's not that far removed from being sent down to the minors. So I'm concerned about the bullpen in general. And last night was easy, right? 7-0 lead against a pretty lousy offense, really, in the Giants. And so it's not a major test, but it went fine. And Max Fried did really well. And then the offense, like we went over, just really solid from the bottom of the order. And really, Judge is the only guy who didn't get on base. And I was, what's the stat with Max Fried as far as opening days? I was just looking at it. Max Fried opening days, I think they were talking about it on the broadcast, but they also, Sarah Langs tweeted it. So Max Fried is now one of 4 guys: David Cohn in 1996, Ron Guidry in 1980, and Mel Stottlemyre in 1967 to have a scoreless opening day start of 6+ innings and allow fewer than 2 hits. 2 hits or fewer. I mean, this was an all-time opening day performance. It is one of the better. It will go down as one of the better starting pitching performances on opening day in Yankee history. And it felt ho-hum. It didn't feel like overly exciting. It wasn't, a bunch of strikeouts. What do you have? 4 strikeouts in the game. It wasn't overly dominant necessarily. He was just locating his spots for the most part outside of the 6th inning, getting soft contact and just going about his business. But it's a dominant start on paper. It's a dominant start with 2 hits in 6 plus 6 1/3 innings. And but very ho-hum comfortable. They put up 5, and I know we get nervous as Yankee fans, and certainly in the postseason we do. I don't know about you. You guys can hit me up. I did not have a second of agita after they scored 5 runs. Not really a second. The only agita came in this game, if you're just joining us, the only agita came in this game when Willy Adames was up with 1 out and runners, 2 outs, 1 out and runners at the corners. That's it. Outside of that, I did not have an ounce. This was a party. It was an absolute party. Now, let's get to the Netflix, because I know people are going to be hung up on it. First off, let me just say, for me, I have a real hard time. I'm not saying you guys don't, or you don't have some. If you're elderly, or I shouldn't even say elderly, I'm just saying, like, if you have an elderly uncle, because that's what I get. All the people call me, I have an uncle, and my grandfather and my dad, and doesn't have Netflix, and he can't hook it up, and nobody wants to pay the $18 for the game, which I get. I get all of it. But you also got to understand that, 1, it's the way of the world, and 2, Evan did the research. More people have Netflix than the Yes Network. So theoretically, now I know that that's not an app, poll of Yankee fans, right? So I understand Yankee fans, that dynamic might be different, but for the most part, more people have Netflix than the Yes Network. Netflix and Amazon, everybody has. When the games are on Apple, I understand. When the games are on Peacock, I understand. When the games are on Roku, I certainly understand. But like Netflix, everyone has Netflix. Everyone has Netflix. And it's just the way of the world. And so, like, when things like this happen and it's just the way we've been trending forever, NFL, everybody else, like, I have a hard time getting upset about it. I have a hard time caring about it. I have a hard time sympathizing with people who don't have it. And I know that's probably unfair of me because I have it and it was easy for me to put the game on. But overall, I don't care that it's on Netflix. I care that the broadcast was freaking awful. That's what I have a problem with. The broadcast was terrible in every way. And now I obviously leave the show at 6 o'clock. Emmanuel Babari and Ricky Ricardo were nice enough to come in at 6. Craig was nice enough to kind of insist on it. And I got to leave at 6, but it still took me forever to get out of the city. I live in Timbuktu out in Warwick. It took me damn near 2 hours. So I walked in the door, even at leaving at 6, I walked in my house at 7:57. So I literally walked in, ran in, put the television on. So I didn't see any of the pregame. I didn't see any of Barry Bonds. I didn't see any of other than the interview they did, during the game. I didn't see any of the pregame. I didn't see any of Jameis Winston other than the segment he did in the stands with the Usos, and then the little bit I saw of him with Grisham and Freed giving out hot dogs or whatever. I don't know. But what I did see was terrible. And I don't get hung up on it. And it's a talking point, so I'm going to do it, and we can talk about it. I don't really care that much. I'm watching the game, but some of the things, like, I mean, first of all, was it Brett Kirshner? He's actually fairly funny. I've seen some of his stand-up. I would argue that his story of the machine, where he was on like a trip with his school when he was a kid, and he actually got mixed up with like Russian gangsters, and they called him the machine. It's very funny. I know he's got a podcast. I'm not saying he wasn't funny or isn't funny, but why? Like, sometimes things happen and you see something and you can't help but just say to yourself, why do I need him for this? Or why do I need this person for this? What about a stand-up comedian? Now, again, if he had another role in the game, in the pregame that I didn't see, I apologize. Maybe he had a moment where he was funny in the pregame. Maybe they had a segment for him. All I saw was him take the mic and kind of introduce the two teams, and he just screamed at the top of his lungs and got the crowd pumped up. He didn't do a bad job of it necessarily, but why a comedian just to go, and your San Francisco Giants? Like, okay. And then they go to him mid-game in the canoe out in Covey Cove or whatever. That didn't sound right the second I said it. But, like, why is he out there on the water? Like, for what reason? For 10 seconds of talking to him so he could say, oh, someone offered me a beer. Like, there was no value to him being a comedian. None. There was no value to him being him. And it's not his fault. They just didn't use him correctly, at least in the broadcast. So that's the first thing. And then, I don't know, I didn't mind when the Yankees got introduced, which, by the way, well, first, let's even start with this. They didn't announce the whole team. At least I didn't see it. Again, 7:57. When I turned on the TV and saw the thing, all the non-starters were already lined up on the field. So I don't know if they shouted out everybody on the roster. I don't know. But when I saw it, everyone was already lined up on the team, on the field outside of the starters, right? So I didn't mind the taxi cabs, but why are people dancing on them? Like, and I know they're trying to make a spectacle, and I know they're trying to have some fun, and I know I was pushing back on Craig when he was talking about the gimmick, and I'm like, this is opening day. It's about a party. It's about baseball's back. It's about my best friend is back. You know how romantic I am about baseball, and particularly Yankee baseball. I love it. Like, it was amazing to have it back. Like, it sucks that there's no game tomorrow, at least for the Yankees. We'll get the Mets tomorrow and the rest of baseball. But, like, every night, it's your friend. And that's what I think of when I think of opening day. I think the long off season is over. The weather's going to start to turn nice, and baseball's back every single night. I don't need it to necessarily be a shrine to baseball. I don't need it to be uptight and shirt and tie and, or a black tie affair. And I'm very, very serious baseball. I don't care. Have some fun with it. But why are they Aaron Boone and the rest of the starting lineup run out between two taxis with women dancing all over the taxis? Like, I just like sometimes you just watch something, you're just like, there's no need for any of this. Now, the San Francisco lineup going through the cable car, that at least made some sense to me. But I don't know. I thought it looked dumb. I thought it looked corny. I thought it looked Macy's Day Parade-ish. Like, and there's nothing wrong with the Macy's Day Parade, the Thanksgiving Day Parade, if you like it, but that's what it looked like. It looked like there was I felt like Fat Joe was going to come out between those two taxis and sing a song, as opposed to the Yankee baseball team. Then you get to the idea that they've been promoting, and we have been talking, and maybe this means more to me than it might mean to you, because maybe you don't give a damn, and why would you? But they're promoting this stupid freaking hand throwing out the first pitch forever. The last week we've been talking about it. Today I saw the video of the hand on a skateboard going around the ballpark on like a motorized skateboard with the hand going like this. Did anyone see the hand? Did the hand have anything to do with throwing out the first pitch? I didn't see it at all. And they made no note of it. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't hear, sorry, we're having technical difficulties, or, the hand flipped us the bird and we kicked it out of here. Like, I don't know what happened, but there was no first pitch, right? It was two giant legends. What was it, Bruce Bochy and somebody else, they said, throughout the first pitch? I didn't see anything of a hand. Not a damn thing. And I'm only mad about that because I had to talk about it for like 3 straight days. If I didn't have to talk about it, if this wasn't a topic on the show, I wouldn't have given a damn that they didn't do it. But like, they're promoting the hell out of it, and then it doesn't happen. And then just like some, like, just baseball technical stuff that you can't do. Like, I don't care what the broadcasters say. Like, the interview with the commissioner was mind-numbingly stupid. But I can live with that, because what are they going to get out of the commissioner? You think they're going to ask the commissioner? You think they're going to ask Rob Manfred about the salary cap in that spot? Like, they are never. I know what that interview is. Was it particularly bad? Yes. Did they get unlucky that the inning was lickety-split? Yes. Did they ask him, what was the first game you went to? Like, yeah, it was bad. There was 3 questions, and it was about Rob Manfred's fandom as a child and the game he went to when Mickey Mantle hit home runs from both sides of the plate. So was it a useless interview? Yeah. Was it bad? Yeah. But who cares? I'm willing to live with that, because I know what those are. They're bad. Was the Jazz Chisholm interview on the field bad? Yeah. It's not Jazz's fault. It's not even their fault. The whole premise of it doesn't work. No one cares. It doesn't add to the broadcast. It didn't add to it when ESPN did it for Sunday night. Didn't add to it last night. Never adds to the broadcast. I don't know why I don't know why they continue to do it. It's just terrible. But whatever, right? I can even live with that. But what you can't do is, while you're talking to Jazz and you have a split screen of the game, you have to put up a score bug so I can see how many strikes there are. So I can see what the count is. So I can see what's going on in the game. They're interviewing Jazz. There's no score bug. I don't know what the count is, because they're like, while like at different times they're cutting to just full Jazz, then they're going back. Like, and if you just can't, like, you have to have a score bug in the corner. Now, I saw people killing the score bug. I didn't mind it. It looked different, I suppose, with some different colors, whatever, but I thought it was fine. The names looked a little small, but that was fine. But when you have Jazz, when you have an interview like that, you have to still put up the score bug so I can see what's going on. And then, speaking about what's going on, one of the major talking points this entire offseason is the new ABS system, which, by the way, another thing about the game, I thought after a spring training, certainly for the Yankees, if you watch Yankee spring training, they're tapping on their heads all over the place. They couldn't stop. They were playing the bongo on their heads. They constantly went to the replay. I thought last night, or this game tonight, I thought they were extremely, extremely. I don't want to say scared, but hesitant to do it. They did not do it. So if you were wondering, after the Yankees led all of baseball in the amount of challenges during the preseason, I don't know if they led it by winning percentage. I don't know if they won. I don't know if their percentage was the most, but they certainly attempted the most. Judge had 2 or 3, and this is not to, shill for Judge and tell you he shouldn't have struck out 4 times. I don't give a damn. They won 7-0. And he's the best hitter in the world. I don't care. But I thought he had a couple where he didn't. Caballero does the one, but I thought for a team that was very fast and loose with it during spring training, you could immediately tell they're pulling the reins back during the regular season. And I thought San Francisco, I don't think they did one. There's one in the game. And this was the point why I'm bringing it up. This is a major talking point. Most people, most baseball fans probably don't watch too much of spring training, so they really haven't seen much of it. And the first ever ABS challenge in the history of Major League Baseball, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. They were too busy yapping about something, talking about something. I don't even remember now off the top of my head. And they didn't show it. This is one of the bigger things. Now, again, I've seen it because if you're probably listening to me at 11:52 at night, you probably watched some Yankee spring training games. You probably saw plenty of it. But this is the first time it's ever happened in a real Major League Baseball game, and they didn't show it. I'm like, what? These are simple things, man. I don't care that it's on Netflix, but you got to give me a broadcast. Do I care that at the end of the game, 7-0, they go to Jameis Winston and the Usos talking about God knows what? No, I really don't. I mean, it's pointless and stupid, but that's not what I scream about. I scream about watching a game and not knowing the count. I scream about seeing the first time ever in Major League Baseball someone challenged. I didn't know he challenged. They're talking about something. They're off camera. Now, again, is it just plumb bad luck? Maybe. But show it to us. You can't miss that. They come back and the referee's standing in front of home plate, and I'm like, oh, there must have been a challenge. There must have been a challenge. Who challenged it? Was it called a strike or a ball? I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about it. You can't miss that. So, that's what I care about. That, I don't care so much that they went to a pointless, Brett, the comedian with the canoes. It was dumb. I don't care. I'll live with that. They all do stuff like that. Do I care that they're promoting some cartoon show and he's throwing the ball off a pirate ship and Matt Vasgersian's talking about it like it's real? Oh, and he tries to throw the pitch. Oh, nice try. Ted or whatever the little character's name was that went over his head. And then the real actor caught the ball and was showing the TV. Yes, stupid. Don't need it. All gimmicky. They're promoting their stuff. They paid a lot of money to promote their stuff to baseball fans. That's not the kind of stuff that bothers me. But if you're going to do it, you got to give me a technical broadcast. And I love CC Sabathia. I didn't expect him to be, great or anything. He was fine. He didn't cause me any, I don't know how much either him or Hunter Pence brought to the broadcast overly, but it wasn't a great broadcast, but it wasn't anything that made me upset. The technical stuff, the little technical stuff that those people at Netflix aren't used to when it comes to a baseball game. You're doing an interview, side panel of the screen. I have to know the count. You have to be on top of an ABS call. You have to be. Those are the things that kind of drive you crazy. But then, of course, the Bonds interview, which gives us a piece of news. And this is for all you Oh, hey, Chris, was it just me or was the standard camera, yeah, behind home plate look all dusty? Yeah, there was some sort of fog. There was some early on. There was some sort of fog. Plus, one they set off fireworks, which that was the cool thing. One, if I'm gonna let's give them some credit. National Anthem was awesome. That guy did a great job. And I don't know at the very end, like and the Home of the Free, like just at that moment, like the back like part of his sailor uniform like flipped up on his head like at that exact moment as it was blowing in the wind, and he did a great job. And then they had like the smoke American flag. I thought that was really good. So I'll give them that. I thought the national anthem was well done. That was a cool moment in the broadcast. So, but there's like I think it was partly the time of day, that hazy. There's obviously I know it's not Los Angeles where they talk about a lot of the fog and polluted air or whatever. I don't know, but like it did look kind of hazy. Part of that is all the fireworks and everything going off. Part of it's the time of day, but yeah, it did kind of have that look. But again, that doesn't bother me either. I don't know. I'm sure the cameras are fine and high quality. It just looked the way it looked. But wasn't the Bonds interview. So then Bonds comes on, and this is for all you George Steinbrenner sycophants who don't remember how much he was hated in this town and hate Hal Steinbrenner and wish George were here. If only George were here. If only George were here. Bonds told a story about when he was a free agent. So you know what? Let me check exactly what year. What year did he go to the Giants? Ryan, maybe you can help me with that as I look. I think Ryan Chichester, obviously the producer, he'll pop in as we go along. And I'm just getting into it. I apologize if I don't like intro. I got to get used to it. Was it 1992? Brian's telling me 1992. Thank you, Brian. Brian Bashman. I don't love the name, Brian. I'll be honest with you. I don't love the name. I'm assuming you're being sarcastic about my guy. But it's hard to kill the Yankees for not signing Barry Bonds in 1992 because like it went well. Like the next handful of years, they do go well. So it's not like if you told me he signed in if he signed in 2010 somewhere and they could have had him like Manny Machado or Freddie Freeman or Bryce Harper, whoever else were pissed they didn't sign in free agent over the last couple of years. But it does go pretty well for the Yankees after 1992, so it's hard to scream about it. But for all of you crazy Yankee fans who don't remember what it was like and forget that George was booed and hated by the fan base and celebrated when he was banished, Bonds tells the story that in his free agency, now I got to go back and watch it again. I don't think he said I 100% would have been a Yankee. I think it was more like, well, listen, I would have been a Yankee. Like I would have, like if it worked out, I could have seen myself. It wasn't like I was set to be a Yankee, but he was kind of like, I would have been a Yankee. Like I would have had no issue being a Yankee. But apparently George called him, and this is according to Barry Bonds. George called him and said, look, I'm going to make you the highest paid player in baseball. I'm going to give you everything you want, but you have to give me an answer by 2:00 today. Now, I don't know if that's George tactics to get things done, that he didn't want him shopping that offer around, but apparently that turned off Barry Bonds, who clearly was, I can't imagine going back to 1992, one of the better free agents at that point in the history of baseball, right? I think he's already got 2 MVPs, one of the best players in baseball. And to bring him to Yankee Stadium, a left-handed hitter like Barry Bonds would have done quite well at Yankee Stadium. But apparently he told Barry that I'm going to do everything you want me to do, but you have to tell me by 2:00. And Barry Bonds was like, excuse me, and hung up the phone, just hung up the phone on him. And then ended up obviously not doing the deal. He said his agents called him and said, well, you know what you just did? And he was like, yeah, I hung up on him. He told me, did you hear what he just told me? I gotta give him an answer by 2:00. And then he pulled a George Costanza and sat on the pier, and the pigeons flew by, and he decided to go back home to San Francisco. So what could have been, what might have been, if not for George Steinbrenner. So remember this, the next time that, George was perfect and George did everything right. And if only his son was like George, if only George were here. If only George were here. maybe he would have screwed it up like he did with Barry Bonds and like he did with Greg Max. Maybe. Or maybe he'd have 3 more championships since 2009. I don't know. But I thought that was an interesting story, a funny story. I don't know if it's true. But again, to be fair, it is hard to complain about not signing anybody in 1992. It's hard to complain about Maddox. It's hard to complain about Barry Bonds because they became a dynasty and they won 4 championships in the next 5 years. Like, how much better could they have done? So it is hard to get that upset about it. But, I will not list 3. He will not allow any boss bashing. Too bad. Sorry, list 3, and man. Every once in a while, I bash everybody. You think I'm the shill? I'm not. I bash everyone. But it's not so much I'm bashing him. I'm trying to stoke your memory of what fact is, as opposed to fiction. And, the memory we have. So George is still a way better than Hank. Stop trying to indirectly cover for your guy, Cashman. I'm not covering for Cashman at all. When did Cashman have to do with this? Let's not read all the comments. What do you say, Chris? Hey, we're learning. If the introduction is not as I just kind of get into things. That's kind of what I have a radio perspective. Like, I don't know. I should be probably introducing people to the podcast and explaining things, but I just get right into stuff. So, but honestly, as far as an opening day goes, that was as good a opening day as you could have because it really checked every box. Now, again, it's one game. All right. So I know I'm not going to try and tell you that everything is, these things are going to happen every game. But if you go through it, like if you said, what are some of the things you'd want on an opening day, or like what are you looking for? Right. Well, obviously you're always looking for the starting pitcher to pitch well, but Max Fried needs to be the anchor of the staff, particularly through the first couple of months until Cole comes back, until Rodon comes back, because we're going to find out the rest of this rotation, right? We don't know what we're going to get from Weathers. We don't know. Like, I'm pretty high on Will Warren, but, he did have a great spring. But we'll see. Cam Schlittler, same thing. Extremely confident in Cam Schlittler. But again, these are all young kids. These are all young kids without a lot of major league experience. It's Max Fried and a bunch of young kids. And then even when Hill comes back, he's a young kid. So, like, right now, like, they need Max Fried to be pretty close to this guy every 5th day, at least for the first half. So you needed Max Fried to be good outside of the 4-pitch walk to lead off the game. And then, bloop single from Devers. The minute he strikes out Willy Adames in the first inning with runners at the corners and 1 out, cruise control. So check number 1. Check number 2, you want to see the bottom of the order because, look, I know Judge struck out 4 times, okay? I know. If you all, like, Judge is going to have an MVP type season, let's be honest. He might not win the MVP. It's hard to win the MVP. He's going to finish in the top 3. So, like, there's no doubt about that. But you know what him, Bellinger, and Stanton are going to do, right? You even know what, like, Jazz is going to do for the most part. You wanted that bottom of the order. You wanted that bottom of the order to come through, put the ball in play. Like, this entire game is a rally from the bottom of the order. It's the 5th inning. Yeah, they get another 2 in the 5th, but it's that 5-run second inning. That's the game. And it's almost all, outside of Grisham with the 2-run triple, it's all bottom of the order. The Yankees just won a baseball game and scored 7 runs doing it without a home run, with Judge going 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, without an RBI from Bellinger, without an RBI from Rice. Like, they didn't hit a home run. They scored 7 runs, and Judge was trash. If they can win games like that, I associate it with like a closer. If you win a game when your closer blows the save, that's a good win. Like, those are really good wins because you hope, theoretically, I know Devin Williams didn't do that last year rather, but like you don't expect your closer to blow many games. So if your closer blows a game and gives up the lead and then you still come back and win, those are really good wins. And I view Judge kind of the same way because we all know how important he is. Like I think this lineup is deeper and the roster overall is a lot deeper than it's been. Because if you remember, we talk about like, oh, if Judge goes down, right? I even said it today on the show and Craig was mocking me a little bit. Like Judge has been as important as anyone to any team ever, right? And if Judge goes down, you're really concerned the offense isn't going to be good enough. That's a major concern, right? Go back to 2023, runs into that damn wall in LA. Yankees don't make the playoffs, right? But if you go back to 2019, like Aaron Judge missed a lot of games. Aaron Judge in 2019, let's look it up real quick. Aaron Judge in 2019. Now, why wouldn't you give me baseball reference first? Aaron Judge in 2019 played 102 games. In 2023, played 106, right? So it's pretty much the same. He missed the same amount of time, right? In 2018, he only played 112. So back when the Yankees were better, right? Because 2023, the roster sucked, right? I know nobody thinks I've ever said that about Cashman's job. It's not true. I called for Cashman and Boone to be fired after 2023 because Cashman's contract was up, and I thought it was the best time to just move on and clean slate. 2023 was terrible. That roster had Franchi Cordero and Willie Calhoun. Like, those were the guys filling in for Judge. Jake Bowers, right? But in 2018, he missed pretty much the same amount of games he missed in 2023, and the Yankees won 100 games. In 2019, he missed 102 games, same as 2023. The Yankees won 100 games. Like, it's not like he's never missed time and the Yankees have been able to overcome it. They overcame it in 2 separate seasons. Why? Because those rosters were better. Those rosters were better than they've been and deeper than they've been. And so, like, I'm not saying hey, listen, Judge misses 60 games, no big deal. Obviously, it'd be a huge deal. But what I'm saying is this team is deep enough now where I think they're in a better place if Judge misses time. They've got Dominguez and they've got Spencer Jones. And they've got a bench of capable veterans. And the rotation, the same thing. They're going to have arms coming back. And even though we don't trust the bullpen, they're going to have a lot of guys, whether it's LaGrange in the minors or Elmer Rodriguez in the minors, or if it's even a Weathers going to be a left-handed bullpen arm later in the season once the rotation is more healthy. So, like, I think the team is deeper than it's been in a long time. So when you see the depth, when you see the bottom of the order come through and Judge struggle and still win, that's what you're looking for. Those are the signs of a team capable. Now, again, one game, but we're talking about it. So I got to tell you what I think about it. And what I think about it is this game shows you, or at least starts to make you feel better about the idea that the bottom of the order can come through. Because, again, this isn't later in the game against a lousy bullpen arm. This is against Logan Webb. Now, did he have his best stuff? No. Did the Yankees have a good game plan? Absolutely. They were attacking. They were in attack mode. They were outside. I mean, what they have, I think at one point, 5 of their 8 hits at one point, or 5 of their 9 now, right? 5 of their 9 hits were first pitch hits. They were aggressive against him. And, I mean, but Logan Webb's a legitimate ace. When you do it on opening day, you do it against legit pitcher. So against a legit pitcher, the bottom of the order came through with hit after hit after hit after hit and strung together an inning that broke his back for 5. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. Because the bottom of the order, unfortunately, my concern is it's strikeout, 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 and occasionally they'll pop one. Because McMahon, Wells, and particularly Volpe, when he comes back, are very much the same player to varying degrees of better and worse, but pretty much the same player. Really good defensively, and I know Volpe, he had 19 errors. I know. I'm hoping defense. First 2 years were really good. Volpe defense, won a Gold Glove, and I'm assuming the injury actually had a role in his defense. But those 3 guys at the bottom of the order, and right now it's Caballero, but when Volpe comes back, they're all the same thing. Good defensive players who can probably hit 20 to 25 home runs, and over the course of 162, that probably helps you. Good defensive player who hits 20 home runs, 25 home runs, valuable player. Valuable player. But in a big game, in a big spot against a good pitcher like Logan Webb, they need to hit those home runs, otherwise they're useless. And you just don't like the idea of the same type players being 7, 8, 9. You'd like a little diversity, and that's why Caballero, hopefully he puts the ball in play a little bit more. That's a good mix. You need some of that. I'll take the guy who hits, like, I'm not, people think I dismiss batting average when I talk about his home runs. I'm just saying Yankees hit a lot of home runs. And when you win 94 games doing it, you can win the whole thing. You got to hit the home runs to do it, but you'd like to be more balanced and you'd like to have more contact. And the three guys at the bottom of the order, all strikeout home run guys, you don't love it. You'd rather have the one guy who doesn't hit home runs but hits 270 just thrown in there. But if McMahon can bump it up to 250 and Wells can hit like he did tonight, that's going to really help this team. McMahon and Wells being good offensive players, put the ball in play and can come through with clutch hits, going to help this team a ton. And, Volpe's going to become a discussion. There's no doubt about it. Volpe is going to become a discussion if Caballero continues to play well. But last night, and it's officially now last night, 12-11 on a now Thursday morning, opening day was a massive success. 7-0, never in question, bottom of the order, Max Fried. Everything about this game went about as well as you could possibly go. And now they have a day off, which always sucks after an opening day. And Cam Schlittler on the mound on Friday, looking to give the Yankees the first series of the year. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll continue to pop on big games. We'll continue to pop on whenever we can after every big game. But this was a great opening day. And Yankee baseball is back. More than anything else, Yankee baseball is back. And I know I went on a big rant during the show. And I talk about it sometimes. And again, I know I was joking a little bit before. I don't really, I probably could do more of an intro and get everybody accustomed to the podcast. I'm assuming a lot of you early listeners probably are a fan of me through WFAN. So maybe you don't need the introduction as we go along, maybe more, but I kind of just get into it. But like, this is like everything else we just talked about. Like, the most important thing is Yankee baseball is back. And I enjoy Yankee baseball. And I just wish, and I'm hoping we can do it together, like more Yankee fans enjoy it, because we get hung up, like the thing I like to say is, yes, it's championship or bust. It's not championship or what's the point. Like, I think there is a difference. It's championship or bust, which means the season at the end of it will be a bust. There is no other way to have a successful season. The only successful season is to win a world championship at the end of it. So it's World Series or bust, but it's not World Series or what's the point. The point is, I love watching baseball, and this is a pretty good team. And we just went over it and how deep it could be. And the first game, you watched it. It's one game. Did they look significantly better than the San Francisco Giants? Like, they look like when Max Fried's pitching like that. And that's the difference, right? We talk about their ultimate failings. What's the difference? Max Fried was great tonight. Max Fried got lit up in Toronto. In the biggest game of his career as a Yankee, he got absolutely lit up. But I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm looking forward to popping on every time there's a big game. We will. And I'm looking forward to enjoying the season, because the Yankees are going to win a hell of a lot more games than they lose. And then hopefully they play well in the postseason. But tonight, as far as opening days go, it's the performance, as we told you, is up there with Ron Guidry. The performance is up there with David Cohn. The performance is up there with Mel Stottlemyre. Max Fried last night gave you a virtuoso, one of the top opening day performances we have ever seen from a Yankee starting pitcher. And the bottom of the order won them the game. Judge was terrible, and they still managed 7 runs against one of the top pitchers in baseball. It pretty much, other than if you're a Yankee fan, you're going to have all your Met fan friends and all your Yankee hater friends tell you that Judge stinks, which is the easiest laugh off of all time. But outside of that, this game went about as perfectly as it could go. Yankees are 1-0 with a day off ahead. Looking forward to a game on Friday with Cam Schlittler on the mound. And maybe I'll pop on after that one too. We will see. But it's late. Don't want to keep you guys up. Hope everybody enjoyed the game, enjoyed the lousy broadcast. I'll be with you again after the series for sure. Maybe after Friday night's game. We'll see. But I will definitely talk to you after the series. We'll break it all down. You guys, I'm going to set up an email and I will tweet it out, or I'll let you guys know what the email is going to be so you guys can reach out to me. We could be a little bit more interactive. It's not that I don't want to stay up. I do have work tomorrow, but Chris, but I did an hour here and we went over the game. So I can't be like Evan in every way because we were supposed to start even a little bit earlier, but Evan apparently was doing some sort of Jacob deGrom Rico. I have no idea why, but this was a good win for the New York Yankees to get the season started, and we will talk to you again after the Giants series or maybe even after the game on Friday. Until then, everybody have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock if you listen on the Fan. If not, on the Rico, we'll get back to you later in the week. And so, as we will say a lot here on the podcast to end it, safe travels. Go get them. Go get them, Yanks. We'll talk to you later. I'm out of here.